up, everybody? What is up, everybody? My name is JeffLightssyJr. here with the Black Boss channel and Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. Come on into the room. Go on into the room because we got a lot to talk about tonight, a whole lot to talk about tonight, and hopefully we can get some info from some of you guys. Also, as you come into the room, drop your city, where you're from, who you represent, what team you root for, where you're from, and who you root for. Drop that in the chat. We'll be right back after the bumper, but we got a whole lot to talk about. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it after the bumper. What is up, everybody? What is up, everybody? My name is JeffLightsyJr. here with the Black Boss channel and Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to come on in and hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, share this broadcast because we're going to be talking about it's a live broadcast. So come on in, drop where you're from and what team you represent, where you're from and what team you represent. We got a lot to talk about today as this is homecoming week for the JSU Tigers. Coach Prime and the Jackson State Tigers will play their homecoming game this week against none other than the Campbell Camels. The Campbell Camels come in with the 4-2 record to take on Jackson State in probably what I'm calling the biggest game of the Coach Prime era at Jackson State. Yes, I'm saying it. Oh, let's see who we got in there. We got Vicky Brown, Pearland, Texas in the building. We've got Brett Robinson. He's J-State all day. So continue to drop where you're from and who you represent, where you're from and who you represent. Now, like I said, I'm calling this the biggest Coach Prime game since he's been at Jackson State. Yes, I believe. Oh, we got some more people coming in. We got Cleveland, Mississippi. We got Deion Sanders, Fort Worth. We've got Jacktown from North Carolina. We've got a lot of folk. Come on in. Keep dropping it. We're going to keep shouting you guys out. But anyway, the reason why I believe, and there's a few reasons why I believe that this is the biggest game of the Prime era. If you can't see my notepad, if it wants to focus, well, there's a laundry list of notes on here, and there's a reason why there's so many notes, because this is a big weekend this is a huge weekend with Campbell coming in. Yeah, now we got some participation. We got some folks coming on in. South Central, shout out to LA in the building. We got it all the way out in LA. Hit that thumbs up button as you come into the room. Share the broadcast, like the broadcast. Now, like I said, Campbell comes into this game. First of all, it's homecoming. Shout out to all the Jackson State alums. Let me know if you're going to be at the game. A lot of JSU alums are going to be at the game. Also, put your attendance prediction in the chat. Continue to put your attendance prediction in the chat. Put your attendance predictions in the chat. We continue to get all of this stuff. Attendance predictions in the chat. So there's a multitude of reasons why this game is going to be big. One, you got Campbell. And some people believe Campbell out of the Big South. They're 4-2, and they're coming off some really, really big wins, including a win over North Carolina Central, probably the best team in the MEAC this year. And they destroyed North Carolina Central. That is the only game. I've only watched one Campbell game all the way through, and that was their game against North Carolina Central. And so in that game against North Carolina Central, Campbell was able to flat out dominate the Eagles. And that is what it is. You can say what you want, but they dominated the Eagles. And that is why a lot of people believe that this will be Jackson State's toughest test all year. The Campbell game, the homecoming game, coached by a former NFL player, a 10-year NFL veteran, Mike Minter, a guy who's been there for a long time, and a guy that's been able to recruit at a pretty good at a pretty good clip over there at Campbell. So we got 51,000. We think 48,000 will be in the building, 53,000, 60,000. What are you guys saying? Campbell looks huge O-line. Campbell's O-line is big, and we're going to talk about that. But first, I want to like I said, the 48-18 win over North Carolina Central is why a lot of people believe Campbell can come in and win this game. That and the fact that they're 4-2 on the year. So This is going to be huge. But the reason why, this is the reason why. So that's part of the reason why, because Campbell's had such a successful season. They dominated North Carolina Central, who could be the MEAC representative in the Celebration Bowl. And they dominate them 48-18. They're legit, in North Carolina Central is a legit chance to win the MEAC. But the reason why this is the biggest weekend, the biggest game of Prime's career as far as the head coach at Jackson State, it's not necessarily because of Campbell. It's because of who is going to be in attendance. Now, we don't know the visitor list, right? We don't know. Somebody said, you said 70,000. Sold out stadium plus those outside the tailgate. That is a thing. Shout out to Rashad in the building. Shout out to you guys, man. 56-7 JSU. Okay. And I'm going to get into my prediction why I think JSU will win as well. But I want to play this clip. We're going to go ahead and play this clip from, it's a little early, from Coach Prime's Instagram. And this is why I believe this is going to be the biggest weekend of his career at JSU.
Let's have 700 requests this weekend, another 500 for next weekend. Weekend in Southern. So we got 1,100 recruits trying to get a little play.
All right, hold on. So if you didn't hear it because he said it kind of fast, 700 recruits will be in Jackson this weekend to watch JSU play. 700. Said another 500 will be there the next weekend to watch them play Southern. 700 recruits. He said, how many dogs in there? Said about 350 4- and 5-star players. About 350 4- and 5-star players to come and watch JSU against Campbell. Now you see why Campbell would want to play a game like this? And we're going to play some clips from Campbell's head coach Mike Minter about why he's super excited, win, lose, or draw, of going to JSU and play this game. But part of the reason why he's excited is because, one, he can recruit his tail off, and there's going to be 700 recruits at this game. Now, you guys know there's only 65 scholarship athletes at the FCS level. 63, my bad. There's only so many players you can have on the team. You can't have 700 players on the team. And so, therefore, if Campbell is able to have a good showing, they will be able to lure maybe a couple of guys that are coming to have at this game. Let's continue listening to Coach, though.
350 dollars, man. Guys, 4 stars, 5 stars. Young guys, 25 players, 24 players. So they come from guys from Canada, guys as far as California, guys already lost flight trying to Jackson City. Wow. You know what? Yeah. This is where the trap. Yep. This is where it all started. Who's next?
Who's next? Who's next? Go. Like, who's next? 700 people. 700 recruits. That's huge. But that's not only huge for Jackson State. That could potentially be huge for Campbell because they understand. Oh, sorry for the echo. There was an echo. Sorry about that. You can't have 700 players on the team. And so, therefore, Campbell, this is a recruiting weekend for them as well. Because win, lose, or draw, why wouldn't you want to go to a place that's going to have 700 recruits, 354 and 5 stars? Why wouldn't you want to go play them? Why wouldn't you want to go show that, hey, we have a competent football team in North Carolina as well in Campbell? It's not an HBCU. You're not going to get this. But you can come play with some other good players because Campbell recruits really, really well. They recruit really, really well. One of the top FCS teams in recruiting. And so the man asked, who's next? Who is next? 60,000 people expected. Campbell recruits well. 500 for last week. And he talked about Travis. And this is why the homecoming atmosphere and packing out the vet is important. Because if you guys remember, at the Alcorn game last year, you guys remember this? I know, JSU fans, I know y'all remember this. FSU commit Travis Hunter takes a visit to Jackson State. Hunter spent some time with legendary Seminole Deion Sanders over the weekend. This was back in November of 2021. You guys remember this? ESPN 300 5-star quarterback Travis Hunter returns to the field. Travis hadn't played football in a while. Played his first game back all season. Then immediately the next day was in JSU. The signs were all over the wall, by the way, for him coming to Jackson State. Following an ankle injury, was in Jackson, Mississippi today for a big visit for JSU. And I was like, oh, visit? He just want to check out the atmosphere. Oh, visit? That don't mean nothing. Nah, it meant a whole lot. when he saw 50, I think they went on to say in this article that it was 59,000 at that Alcorn game. Yeah, it says Hunter made his trip to Mississippi to watch the Tigers face Alcorn in front of 59,000 fans. So think about that. If that kind of atmosphere had an impact on a player as high caliber as Travis, and now Travis is there, and Travis is back, by the way. We're going to talk about that too. He's back playing, by the way. Imagine what it can do for another kid. Imagine what it's going to do, hell, for Campbell. Imagine what it's going to do. That is why this weekend is so big for Coach Prime. That is why this weekend is so big for Coach Prime. And you add the fact that this weekend, this game is coming off the heels of what took place at Alabama State. It comes off the heels of getting a deal, Shedeur, NIL with Brady Brand. Coach Prime being featured in Madden and on Doritos chips. Coach Prime and the JSU team inking a documentary deal with Amazon Prime. Barstool did his job, but no, the Coach Prime series is going to Amazon Prime. And it's coming off the fact that the 60-minute piece, which was magnificent, by the way. All of these are happened within the last 2 weeks for JSU. And now you have a homecoming game who is going to see 700 recruits, 350 of them being 4- and 5-star players, at least 350 apart over the week against Campbell, homecoming, and the next week against Southern, the rival game. This is a pretty big deal. And this is going to be the biggest recruiting weekend for JSU in the Coach Prime era. Not just for Coach Prime, but it's for the team. The team has to go out there and play well and dominate. But it also, the staff has to close the deal on some of these kids. The staff has to close the deal. And then we know they're pretty freaking good at closing. We know that they're pretty freaking good at landing the kid that they want. And having a weekend like this, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Another thing that it could, possibly could help and spice up the atmosphere at JSU is, guys, remember back in August when the clip of Coach Prime, shout out to Kayla Thompson, he did the interview with the reporter down there in Mississippi, Kayla Thompson, the sports reporter, and he asked her, or she asked him about his favorite show on TV, and he said P-Valley, and remember what that kind of transpired into? It transpired into the folks from P-Valley actually saying they were going to pull up for homecoming. Now, the question is, are they still going to pull up? Is Katori Hall, are the folks, if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me go ahead and show the clip. This was Kayla Thompson asking Coach Prime about, what is he currently watching? And he goes on.
P-Valley.
He goes on to say
right.
P-Valley.
I said it. Didn't stutter. Didn't stumble. Yeah, I said it. Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm inviting him to the first home game. Yeah, right. On clip. Come on. Got you. Little murder.
He went on to invite him.
You wanted it real, right?
Yeah,
you wanted it real.
So that was that when he invited him. And then Katori Hall, who was the show creator of P-Valley, said, what about homecoming? Because he invited him to the first home game. And they all kind of responded. So the question is, are the P-Valley folks, Jackson State folks, you guys think the P-Valley folks are still going to pull up? Are they still pulling up to homecoming? That is a big question. That could be something that helps or whatever. It could potentially help. It could not. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Let me see. Let me look at some more of your comments. It says, on this morning video, Prime said 1,100 recruits. Yes, 11. So it's really 12. If it's the 700 at this game, 500 at the next, it's really 1,200. He said 1,100, but it's really 12 if it's that many folks. And so you could see the folks at P-Valley showing up. Now, I want to get into, so shout out to the Blue Bloods. Shout out to Zach, man, over at the Blue Bloods. He posted the interview of Coach Campbell. And Coach Campbell is really, really excited about coming to Jackson State. Really, really excited about playing against Coach Prime's team, his team matching up against Coach Prime's team. And one of the keys to the game, I think, will be for Jackson State and for Campbell, if they want a chance at winning, is starting fast. Both teams need to start fast. Well, necessarily Campbell more so than JSU needs to start fast because Campbell is a run-heavy team, But Campbell also understands that JSU has been playing with the lead for in pretty much every game they played this year. So here's Coach Minter talking about how the reason why it looks like, because they asked him, they were basically like, JSU's played some teams, but the level comp's kind of weak, right? So what do you think? You think your team's going to be able to come in and run over them? He's like, no, the comp is not weak. It's the fact that JSU starts so fast and jumps out on teams is why it may look like those boys is weak, because they jump out so fast. And he had high praise for the JSU, not just the team, but specifically Shedeur and the defense. Let's take a listen.
Really playing tough football and very aggressive.
Also, let me know if you guys can hear it.
Offense and defense. And I think when you have an offense that's tempo like ours, I understand it. You're going to put points on the board. You put pressure on the other offense, try to keep up, and then now you got to pressure defense, and you coming after the quarterback, and so teams haven't been able to play regular football with them because of they get behind, and now it's time to pin your ears back and let's go see who gets to the quarterback first.
And so that's what he's talking about. He said, let's see who gets to the quarterback first. Because when you're playing with a lead and you're playing from behind, it's hard against this team. It's hard to play against this team when you're playing from behind. It's really, really hard because this team plays an attack style defense. He gave so much to say that the team has an 85 Bears. That's whenever you can compare it to the 85 Bears, it's a good day. It's a good day when an opposing coach that you're about to play compares your team to the 85 Bears. Now, he said it's at this level, of course, but he said this team, like watching them, they play a 2022 version of a 46 defense. They go man-to-man on the outside, and they're all, a meeting at the quarterback. And the thing about Campbell, the reason why this game is really like a lot of folks I know, they're saying, oh, Campbell's about to come in and run over JSU. This game is not really the best matchup for Campbell. And here's why. Because Campbell is a run-first team. And Campbell has an offensive line that is very big and very powerful, and that is a great run blocking offensive line. They're susceptible to get exploited pass blocking. The team has given up, even in games that they've won, they've given up multiple sacks, 3 and 4 sacks here and there, even in games that they've won, because they're not the best pass blocking team, and they don't have to do it very often. Because their first is run blocking. I think Zach from the Blue Blood said they have one of the biggest offensive lines in the entire FCS, in the entire country. But Coach Prime in his Swac meeting said sometimes the problem with having them big old boys as one of the biggest offensive lines is the fact that sometimes it's hard to move when you're pass blocking. And so if JSU is able to get an early lead, a 14-0 lead, a 17-0 lead, a 21-7 lead, it could be hard for a team like Campbell, who has a four-headed monster running the ball, and to take that away and to force Malik Williams, who's very, very good, who's a good player, but to force him to beat you passing the ball. That's what you want to do if you're JSU. You have to force him to beat you passing the ball. And up until this point this year, like I said, I've only watched one full complete Campbell game. But up until this point, in their 6 games that they played, he hasn't shown that he can beat a team passing the ball. Malik Williams is a dynamic player. He can throw, but he is really, really good with his legs. And they have 3 backs, him and 3 backs that are beasts. It's him last name with Barr, Rogers, and McDowell. Bryant Barr, Naquari Rogers, and Laminga McDowell. Those are the 3-headed monster at the running back. And then you add Malik Williams as the quarterback. That is where they attack teams. I mean, listen to these stats, guys. In the games this year, Campbell has only attempted 192 passes, and they've ran the ball 261 times. They only have 9 touchdown passes all year. In 6 games, they have 9 touchdown passes. So what does that tell you? That tells you they want to run the ball. And it also tells you, and this is another thing why starting fast is huge for JSU. The reason why starting fast is huge. Because starting fast is huge for JSU because Campbell doesn't have a dynamic offense. See, JSU has a dynamic offense, and they're adding players this week. Travis is back, and I'm going to show you this clip of Malachi. It looks like he's ready to get back on the field too. JSU has a dynamic offense, is able to score quick. They can hit you over the top with players like Willie, or they can slice and dice Willie Gaines, or they can slice and dice you with Dallas Daniels, Rico Powers, Coleman, all those guys, or they can run the ball with a guy like Savion Wilkerson and hit you, with him, hit you, just pound you with Savion. And for the guys that like to get on me for saying, man, JSU pass the ball sometimes too much. Coach Brown actually said it this week. He said, sometimes we get too pass happy and we need to continue to run the ball. So I'm glad he said it for the folks that like to bite my head off. But that's neither here nor there. If you get a lead on Campbell, they haven't been able to prove that, one, their offense isn't very dynamic. It looked dynamic against North Carolina Central, but they're only averaging 30 points per game, and they only have 9 passing touchdowns the entire year. For example, Campbell only has 9 passing touchdowns all year. Shedeur has 22. He had 5 last game. So think about it. In the last game alone, Shedeur threw for more than half the amount of touchdowns Campbell's thrown for all year. Shedeur, in his last outing, threw 5 touchdowns. That's more than half than Campbell has thrown for in 6 entire games. Football is a lot like boxing. It's a lot about matchups. And this matchup isn't that great. Now, that doesn't take away the fact that Campbell is a good team. And that doesn't mean that they can't go out there and beat JSU. Because if Campbell is able to run the ball on Jackson State. Now, we haven't seen anybody really effectively run the ball on JSU all year, but also most of the teams have been playing from behind. But if Campbell is able to go out there with their up-tempo and are able to run the ball successfully, then they could have a good day. But if Campbell gets behind, they haven't shown the ability to really, really play from behind and make plays. Now, I want to play this clip. Now, let me know. I'm going to try to fix that echo. But I want to play this clip from Coach Mentor about, for folks that say words don't matter and campaigns don't work and words don't work, listen to this clip that Coach Mentor from Campbell had to say about Shedeur and none other than what? The Heisman. Let's take a listen.
A great matchup for our offense, and then of course their offense is fast paced like ours. They high tempo. They just throw the ball more than we do. They more like 70% on it, 30% running the football, and so they want to put the ball in the air. And why not? Man? Now Heisman, candidate that we're trying to get to be a Heisman candidate as far as FBS is concerned. So
a Heisman candidate, right? Now, there's a couple of reasons why he would say this. One, because he just honestly believes it. He honestly believes Shedeur is that good. He honestly believes that they're going into an environment with a guy who's going to be playing on Sundays. And this is a guy who played on Sundays. This is a guy who played in the NFL for a decade. Now, he didn't just have a drink of coffee in the NFL. He gets a pension from the league. Like he did his thing. He played. He was a known player. And so the main reason why he's referring to Shedeur as a Heisman candidate is because JSU fans refer to him as a Heisman candidate. It's because his coach promotes him as a Heisman candidate. It's because of the windstorm and the media storm created by Jackson State, mainly Prime and his video team and the people down there in the program, created by Jackson State. That is why words matter. Folks that say words don't matter, no, words matter. So for JSU to continue to speak into existence, Shedeur is a Heisman candidate. Shedeur is a Heisman candidate. Shedeur is a Heisman candidate. And then Shedeur continuing every single week. 4 touchdowns here, 5 touchdowns there, 22 touchdowns in 6 games. Sounds like a Heisman candidate to me. And so when your program starts it for you, you get billboards, then you get people on national media platforms like Robert Griffin putting you in the top 5 of the Heisman. That continues to circulate. That continues to ring bells in different circles. That continues to promote and uplift. And then he goes out and slices and dices every single team he plays every single week. Yeah, he's an Heisman candidate. And why wouldn't another FCS coach? Because at some point, Mike Minter wants recognition for Haj Malik Williams and his guys. So why wouldn't he promote another FCS player to be in a Heisman talk or a national recognition type talk? Because at some point, he is going to want that same recognition for his guys and the guys that come to Campbell. They're not FBS, they're FCS. So they want to continue to push that narrative as well, so that the other FCS players or the 4- and 5-star players that potentially may or may not come to Campbell can say, hey, I can get recognition if I go out and ball out at the FCS level. I can get Heisman consideration or whatever, even though I'm playing at the FCS level. So that was actually really smart by Coach Minter. It's been smart by JSU to continue to push, whether you think it's real or not or whatever, because realistically, is he going to win? Probably not. They're going to choose C.J. Stroud or Hendon Hooker or, Bryce Young again. Somebody like that is playing at either Tennessee or Georgia or Alabama or whatever. But it makes sense to continue to push the narrative because words matter, because things matter, because the power, if you control the media, you control the mind. And JSU is pushing heavy in the media. Shedeur's a Heisman candidate. And if you look at Shedeur's numbers compared to the Hendon Hookers, compared to the C.J. Strouds, compared to the Bryce Youngs, compared to the Caleb Williams, it lines up pretty well. Now, you can argue about level of competition or whatever, but if we're looking at sheer numbers, his numbers look pretty good. And especially if you're saying that you want to see Shedeur at the next level, which means the NFL. Shout out to you guys, man. Continue to hit that thumbs up button. Continue to hit that thumbs up button as you come in. So I really like that. I really, really like that saying by Coach Minter at excuse me, at Campbell, saying that about Shedeur. We're gonna we got a phone line right now. I think we got it open. You can call in. You can call in if you want to. 727-731-8723. 731-8723. I want to continue to go through my points, and then if somebody calls in, we can pick that up. So, like I said, the key to the game is starting fast for JSU because Campbell wants to run the ball. Campbell has been able to dominate folks with 350-yard games, 300-plus yard games, but Campbell hasn't shown the ability to come from behind on any team or to really have a dynamic passing game. They've only had 9 touchdown passes every single year. Now, I want to see some of your comments. How you keep thinking? How y'all keep thinking Campbell and HBCU and the only black? I don't think nobody thinks Campbell's an HBCU. I haven't seen that mistake yet. Let's see. That hurt their feelings when they said Shedeur QB is a Heisman candidate. Yeah, like some folks like to just simply, now granted, you can say, oh, realistically, he doesn't have a shot, right? Like he that's why they created the Walter Payton Award. And there's some truth behind that, right? Like, I'm not going to act like there isn't any truth. Like, they created the Walter Payton Award because they don't expect any FCS player to win the Heisman. And quite frankly, the Heisman isn't for an FCS player to win. That's not how the Heisman is promoted. That's not how the Heisman committee saw it. That's not what they see. When they see the Heisman trophy being handed out, they see it being handed to a Hendon Hooker. They see it being handed to a Caleb Williams. They see it being handed to a C.J. Stroud. They don't want to see it being handed to a Shedeur Sanders. That's just the truth. That is just, quite frankly, the truth. But that doesn't mean that it can't happen. That doesn't mean that it can't happen. That does not mean that at all. Now, I want to play this clip. Now, boy. First of all, Travis launched a YouTube channel this week. And on his YouTube channel, one of the big stories that he broke on his own channel was that he is going to play against Campbell. He dispelled all rumors. He's suiting up. He's going to play. And boy, does he look good. And it also looks like we could see some significant action from Malachi Wideman, who hasn't really seen the field this year a lot. One, because he was suspended early in the season, and the other because of the emergence of some other guys. Dallas Daniels has emerged as, probably the best receiver on this team. He's looking like a pro every single game. Shane Hooks goes out there and makes some crazy good catches every single week. Just one-hand snags that are nasty. But we can't sleep on Malachi. Like, Malachi is still that dude. Let's take a look. This is a clip from Deion Jr. about Malachi. Watch this play. Let me know what you think about this play. Let me cut it. I said it's echo, and let me cut it down some. But this is Malachi in the red 13 going against K5, starting cornerback on the team. Let's take a watch. Ooh. Yeah, that was nasty. Now, the next clip, you're going to see Travis at receiver and Nugget guarding him at corner. And watch what Travis was able to do. I mean, this is what they're going to add to the offense this week. That type of playmaking ability. And look at the route Travis was able to run against a cornerback that is having draft aspirations. Now, it looks like we got somebody calling in. Let me take a listen. Hello, you're on with Jeff. And let me know if you guys can hear it.
Hello? What's going on, Jeff?
What's going on?
How you doing, Jeff?
What's going on?
Doing all right, man. Doing all right, man. It's LT calling out of Dallas.
What's going on, LT? What's on your mind?
Oh, man, I'm just calling, man. Man, I'm so excited, man, to see Travis Hunter play this weekend, man. I can't hold it in, man.
You and me both.
Game was tomorrow.
You and me both. What are your expectations of Travis's first week back from injury?
Man, what I think we're going to see for him, I say, I don't think we're going to see a heavy load of offense. I say 5 catches.
5 catches? That's a heavy load.
You said 5 catches?
5 catches? That means you if you get 5 catches in a game, I mean, that's pretty good, especially for this JSU offense. They don't target one player 10, 12 times a game. So 5 catches is a lot. I think.
I can see him getting. The only way I can say I see him get 5 catches because I don't see too many of them D-backs on Campbell guarding them. Them 5 catches is almost like automatic. If let's say get 8 targets and 5 catches, you know what I mean? That's automatic to me, man. And one of them is going to be like a 76, like a 45-yarder, 50-yarder. You know. I think one of them going to be a big play, bro.
So you think Travis is getting a big time play this week? I kind of agree with you on that, man.
Oh yeah.
After seeing that route, seeing him route up Nugget. And this is no shot at Nugget, but seeing him route up Nugget like that in that clip I just showed, I think Travis could have a big one too. I'm right there with you,
man. I'm telling you, man. And I give him a touchdown. I give him a touchdown and a pick. Maybe a touchdown, maybe not a pick, but I wouldn't put it past them, man, because I don't think mental is gonna be I ain't gonna call them stupid, but I don't think they're gonna be ignorant enough to try Travis. I think, man, I think they're gonna try their best not to even try to throw the ball that much. You know what I mean?
They don't want. You're right. They don't want to throw the ball unless they're down. That's why the fast start is critical. For Campbell, because Campbell has to score points, because if they get down, they haven't shown the ability all year to really air it out and score touchdowns through the air after being losing. That's the biggest thing.
Well,
shout out to Marquand.
Well, man. You might be right. He might just get a pick because I don't see them. All I see is them being down. All I see is them being down, man. I see them being down by the end of second quarter.
Yeah,
because I went back and looked at Campbell's games, man. They are good. They got a good defense, big O-line and D-line.
Yeah.
But like you said, man, they can't throw the ball. They look good, and they quarterback, they O-line does. They allow pressure.
No, they do. That's the thing. Their O-line is really good at run blocking. Is shaky at pass blocking, man. I appreciate you though, LT, man. Appreciate you calling in, man.
All right, no problem, man. Thank you, man. You have a blessed day, bro.
You too, man. Shout out to LT, man, calling on in. That was it's the first call we ever taken on the show, man. So I appreciate LT for that, man. But like I said, Campbell is a good football team. Let's not. But Mark, shout out to Marquand, man. He calls all these games. He goes to all the games, and he always telling me they're gonna be blowouts, and I give him pushback, and then they end up being blowouts. So it'll be like, if you want to call in here, 727-731-8723, 727-731-8723. Now I want to also. There is another clip I want to play from Coach Mentor, talking about playing this game, this homecoming game, and playing in front of 60,000 Black people. He said that now it was part of it I didn't agree with 100%, but he talked about, he's like, yo, I've never even played in front of 60,000 black people. Like, I done played in front of 100,000 in some of my college games and stuff. They wasn't all black. They ain't all look like me. So this is going to be a new environment for me. He said, but my team should be able to handle it, because earlier this year, Campbell, they played the game. Out of the 2 losses, one of Campbell's losses was to Eastern Carolina, which is an FBS team, and they played on the road at Eastern Carolina. And I think it was, the attendance was 49,000 there. It was almost 50,000. And so his team played that game, and they lost 49-10. But he said that environment was probably the closest to what they will play in Jackson, is that Eastern Carolina game. So let me go ahead and find where Coach Campbell was talking about playing in a game with this many people, playing in front of this many black folks, something that, quite frankly, he said he has never even done. Let me go ahead and pull that up. Shout out to you guys, man. Shout out to you guys. You want to call in, you can call in on that number. If not, we'll get out of here soon. Let me go ahead and press play. So this is Coach Campbell, Coach Mentor, of Campbell, talking about playing in front of 60,000 black people.
See, Zach. So I don't know when you talk about preparing them for 65,000 black people up in the stadium. I don't know what that's like. I've been in 100,000, but they weren't all black. And so we getting a chance to experience all that. And I mean, I want to. I mean, it's something that I've never seen either. So the only way that I'm able to tell guys for anything in life is that you stay in the process. And the process is you chop wood, you carry water. You do the simple things in life, and you're doing them at a high level, and you repeat it over and over and over and over and over. And then you don't get caught up into what environment you're going to. You don't get caught up into who you playing. You don't get caught up.
So that was pretty much. Oh, we got some more calls coming in. That was pretty much what he had to say. Let's see. Let's take this call. See what's going on. What's going on? You're on with Jeff. Hello.
Yoga, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Hey, well, yes, sir. We can hear you. Who's calling?
This is Yoga calling out of ATL, Georgia.
What's going on, Yoga? It's an interesting name, man. What's going on? What's on your mind?
Oh, well, I just want to chime in. I want to bring something up to look at the Jackson State run that's taking place right now. First off, it's a historic run because it's happening in the time of where the college players can get paid for their craft. And so you got a couple major players on the team. Sanders, the quarterback, getting the deal with Tom Brady, and Travis Hunter getting the deal with Michael Strahan. But this is the other thing. Because they have those national deals now, they're getting the best from each team that they're playing.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people looking at it saying, oh, okay, Jackson State and Coach Prime, and they're in the HBCU, and they're in the Swac. No, they're getting the best that the Swac has ever produced.
Absolutely.
Because the Swac has never had this national NFL Hall of Fame impact that Coach Prime is bringing to the conference. So the Swac is playing at the highest level that it's ever played before, and Jackson State is seeing the highest level from those teams and from Campbell coming up in the homecoming. So what we're seeing is actually Jackson State being underrated because everybody's getting up for them that they're saying on the schedule. Think about it.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
and I'm saying on the national level. On a national level, Jackson State is being underrated because it's not highlighted that they're getting the best out of every team that they're playing because they have a Hall of Fame coach and because of the record and because of the NIL, the money deals for Travis Hunter and Sanders, the quarterback. Yeah. So they're getting the best that they can get from those teams. That's not happening to other teams. Even in the Power 5, that's not happening to other teams. When they look at the record and see them get squashed and see another team beat them, that's not happening even in what we call the Power 5 conferences.
Well, let me run this by you. Let me say this. The reason why JSU, it just depends on who you talk to. They get a lot of love from obviously from JSU fans, and it's a whole lot of y'all. Like, shout out to y'all, man. It's a whole lot of y'all. And they also get a lot of attention, maybe not always love, but attention from the rest of the Swac, whether they want to admit it or not. They tap into what's happening at JSU because you know why? Because they want that to be happening at their school. And because if it was happening at Southern or Alcorn or whoever else, they want the same thing. If you ask any of the fan bases, would you trade what they have for what's happening at JSU? They traded in a heartbeat. So let's just put that out there.
Now let me piggyback just right off that point you said.
Okay.
Well, not only the other SWAC schools, we're talking the SEC wants Coach Prime. The ACC wants Coach Prime. So if those conferences, the ACC and the SEC wants Coach Prime, that means Jackson State is at a Power 5 level. Because why would a Power 5 school want to come and get Coach Prime?
Hold on. Let me ask you this. A Power 5 level in what, though? A Power 5 level in what? What do you mean?
In performance and recruiting. He got the number one recruit for all the Power 5.
Okay, I can agree with you on recruiting, but let me dissect a little bit what you're saying though. So and
that sprinkles down to every aspect of the program. If you're recruiting Power 5, in the next 6 months, you're playing Power 5. You're at that level on the field. In the next 6 months, the record adds up. In the next 6 months, coaches come and he's done all that. They're actually at a Power 5 level because the Power 5 ACC and SEC wants to hire him now. That means that he's competing on that level. Now, that's why I think they're the most underrated program in the country because they're not being shown that they're playing on the Power 5 level. And what confirms that is Georgia Tech wants them, Auburn wants them. So that confirms that he's on the SEC, ACC level with recruiting the program from top to bottom at JSU. Tell me I'm wrong.
I'm not arguing with the recruiting thing. That's the thing. I am not arguing. But JSU can't get on the field with Alabama right now. They can't get on the field with Tennessee right now. They can't get it.
Listen, we don't know that. They have to get on the field. So if Travis Hunter, if Travis Hunter went with Nick Saban, we wouldn't say anything. If Travis Hunter was at Alabama, we was expected. Now Coach Prime is getting all the same number one recruits that Alabama wanted. He's giving them to come to him. So Nick Saban did not want Travis Hunter. Nick Saban didn't want Travis Hunter.
I'm agreeing with you. He did.
Yes.
He did.
So he's at Jackson State. So now we're scared to say that Jackson State is on a Power 5 level when they have the strengthening coach from a UGA. They have coach from UGA. They have the Hall of Fame coach in prime time. They have the NFL coaches on offense and defense. They have the top 10, top 4-star, 5-star recruits, and they're undefeated. And we're scared to say that they're Power 5. And the ACC is begging Coach Prime, Georgia Tech, Auburn, the SEC, all these Power 5 schools are calling Coach Prime right now, but we're scared to say that he's running the Power 5 program. So, why would a problem if JSU is not a Power 5 program? Why would a Power 5 program want Coach Prime?
Well, okay, so you got that
because
out.
He's demonstrating now. Go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead.
So
What does that mean?
Okay, so here's the thing. I am not disagreeing with you on part of it. I'm with you when you're right, but when you go too far, I gotta I gotta reel it back in because you were on the right trajectory. Then you start drifting off, and I gotta let you go because we got some other folks.
No, I never drifted. I never drifted.
Oh, okay, but here's the thing. Okay, but here's the thing. Coach Prime himself said that his team can't compete with Alabama. Like he said it himself. If you gotta believe, if you ain't gotta believe me, believe him.
He's inviting them in. He's smart. He's inviting them in.
Okay, but
he's on the commercial with Nick Saban.
He is.
You don't think that he really thinks that? That's a part of the market.
And honestly, he does believe that. But I appreciate the call. We gotta get to some other folks, and then I want to also play this clip, man. But appreciate it. Make sure you call back again. But I have to get to some other folks on the line, and we gotta be logical. But let me answer this one, and I'll get to his point. What's going on, man? You're on with Jeff.
Jay.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, man?
What's going on, man? Who's calling?
This is Jay from Cali, man.
What's going on, Jay, man? What's going on?
Nothing much, man. I'm just calling, man. I love your program. Give you one props on that for
man,
right
appreciate
now.
That. Appreciate that.
I like what you do, man. Your knowledge and everything. Let me give you that. You know, I'm a fan. I became a fan of Jackson State. Who else? By being a fan of Deion Sanders. So the notoriety that he done brought to the program is really great. No doubt about it. What he's doing over there at the HBCU level is just extraordinary too, man. So I just want to give all HB because the attention that he's bringing to HBCUs
absolutely
is just incredible all around the board. So I think everybody, if they just really embrace that, it's going to uplift the whole HBCU scene. Instead of some of the coaches want to hate, but like you said, the coach from Campbell, embrace it because it's going to bring more attention to your program and help your program grow at the same time.
This is going to be the most. I just on that point, I want to add to you. This is going to be the most watched Campbell game all year. It's going to be the biggest crowd Campbell plays in front of all year. It's going to be the most recruits Campbell plays in front of all year. Like it's 100%. It was a no. Even if Campbell goes out there and loses 50-0, they're in a no lose situation. But continue on. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry about that.
No. You're absolutely right. It's just that. And my thing, Bert, I'm really asking you. I want to know: are there games going to be showed on, like ESPN, University U or one of those instead of ESPN3, where you really sometimes can't even find the game or what it's doing, because it need to get a little bit more hype than what it's getting, because I think it's really good for the whole, order there.
Well, for those who don't know, this game was originally on the HBCU Go schedule, right? And I don't know, but I did a whole video about that. But ESPN has first rights over JSU, well, over Swac games, but specifically JSU games. And they pull this game from HBCU Go because HBCU Go has secondary rights. But anyway, this game will be on ESPN Plus. And hopefully they have the proper production and everything that's going on. But yeah, it'll be on ESPN Plus. It won't be on ESPN 1 or 2 or U or nothing like that, but it will be on Plus. But the one thing I will say about ESPN, and they're smart, and they've learned from Cut Day. Shout out to Cut Day. But they've learned from Cut Day about putting the highlights. They put every single game that JSU plays, their highlights end up on ESPN's YouTube channel. And on that YouTube channel, they get over every single one has gotten over 100,000 views. I think they learned that from Cut Day Sports. And shout out to Cut Day Sports because he is the master of putting the condensed game, and ESPN's learned from that. And because so many people are interested in what's going on with Jackson State, they figured it out. And some of their most watched highlights that they posted on their YouTube channel is right there from JSU.
Okay, good. Hey, man, look, keep up the work that you're doing, man. I love your content, my brother.
I appreciate
just want to give you some props for what you do, man.
Well, I appreciate that, man, more than you know. Appreciate it, man. Make sure you call back again.
No doubt.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys, man, shout out to the callers, man. We got, like I said, says take the calls out. No, man, we gotta have the calls. It's another dimension. We're stepping the show up, and we're going into a new space with this show. So we want to hear. I listen to you guys. I listen to you guys all the time as far as the comments. I respond to all the comments. If you leave a comment on my video, I respond to it. If you don't know by now, I do respond to all the comments. And so I want to hear from you all because you all support. And I love the support. So let me, hold on. We got another caller coming in. Let me go ahead and admit it. Let me go ahead and admit this. What's going on? You're on with Jeff. Hello.
Wayne. Hello.
Wayne, how's it going?
Going good.
What's going on, man? What's on your mind?
So we still talking about the show?
Yeah, we're still talking. What's going on? Whatever's on your mind.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to mention about the Campbell coach.
Yeah, he's awesome. Coach Mentor, what you got to say?
He's got a creative mind, because when you think about what Prime did, if you go back and listen to the coach during his interview, the reason he reached out to Jackson State. He wanted to play.
It's true. He did mention that. I didn't play that clip, but you're right.
Yeah, so he's looking out for his program. How do I get my program more notoriety? How do I get us on the map? Because he's already got the recruiting. So to me, that was smart, because now he's taking it up to the next level.
Yes.
By getting on with Jackson State. So I just wish more coaches would look at Jackson State as a tool and use them like Prime is trying to do and build up their programs. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, you have a point there, but see, everyone doesn't look at it that way. Some folks, there's some comments that they find disrespectful from Coach Prime. Coach Prime's been really cordial with Mr. Coach Mentor out there at Campbell. But some folks in the Swac are like, yo, he do some disrespectful things to us. And I can understand it. Like some of the things he says about when he's playing these other teams, whether it's Alabama State or Alabama A&M, whatever. Like, for example, he said, I guess the coach, when the thing went down with Coach Eddie Robinson, he said, I guess he was mad because he thought he was going to win. I don't know why he would think that. I mean, come on now. Like, you're going to find some kind of disrespect in that. Like, I know I would. I don't know why he think we'd win. Well, I think I was winning because I fielded a football team just like you did. But stuff like that is going to drive an opposing fan base crazy. And the thing with Coach Mentor, like you said, he reached out to Coach Prime. Coach Mentor, in that full 15-minute thing, shout out to the Blue Bloods. You can go over to the Blue Bloods YouTube channel. In that 15-minute segment, he talked about Coach Prime being the godfather of DBs. He looked up to Prime. He's like, yo, I play DB. Prime is the godfather of DBs. So, of course, I wanted to play. And he's got a tremendous program, and I'm building my program. So, of course, I wanted to go play him. So, that is also another way to look at it. We got some more calls, but I appreciate you calling in.
Oh, yeah, no problem. I just want to make the quick point that, yes, you're correct in everything that you said, but if you're looking at trying to grow the business of your football team, sometimes you may not like what is said. So thank you.
You're right about that, man. Appreciate you calling in. Make sure to call again. Yeah, if you are looking at it from a business perspective, but some folks just looking at it from a football perspective. Some folks, they ain't looking at it that way, so we'll have to wait and see. Hey, you're on with Jeff. Who's calling?
Hey, brother Jeff, how you doing? This is Chris calling from San Antonio, Texas, man.
What's going on, Chris, man? What's on your mind?
So I'm seeing the title right here of your show, and I literally just logged on. Just came from. I coach football. My son played football.
Okay.
But I did hear you say like some of the coaches in the SWAC feels like Coach Prime is being disrespectful towards them, and I'm gonna say it to you like this, brother Jeff. I can see that, but for the most part, I don't believe it's disrespect. Here's the reason why. When Shedeur was in high school, he played for a team called Trinity, up in outside of Dallas, Texas. Well, I'm in San Antonio, okay? So they played against a team called, and you can fact check me on this. You can look back on this. It's a school called Cornerstone. It's a private Catholic school called Cornerstone. Shedeur Sanders has always walked the length of the field doing that quarterback stretch and shoulder thing that he did. And when he did it at Alabama State, they was like, why is he on the side of the field? Why is he doing this? Why is he get back on Jackson State side of the field? And the same thing with Coach Prime. Okay, now when he played, I'm originally from Cincinnati, Ohio. When Deion Sanders played for the Reds, not only did he always walk the whole field like he did when he played football, he also did that, brother Jeff, when he played baseball, and he also did that when he was a coach. So my thing is, my thing is maybe some of these SWAC fans, because America's 30-something million people. America is fast-paced and stressed. Maybe they forgot Deion Sanders always did those things. Okay. Then
go for it.
And then when we talk about the disrespect towards Alabama State, when he made that comment, I don't know why he would think that. Now, I played college football at Langston, a little small black college up in Oklahoma. I played high school football. And I play high school football, brother Jeff, and I coach football. Here's the thing: whenever a team schedule you at their homecoming, or they see you on the schedule, so let's say it's out of their hands, and they see you on the schedule, and they accept that. What they're saying is, and brother Jeff, you know this, for all the callers on here. What they're saying is, you can't beat me in my homecoming. I kick your ass in my homecoming. You can't beat me.
Absolutely.
So you're supposed to have that mind frame. However, that within itself could be a form of disrespect. So if I'm prime time, I'm going to be like, well, wait a minute. You scheduled me? You scheduled us for your homecoming.
That's what
Brother Jeff, we could have been 0-16. Don't matter. We could have been 0-16 the year before. You had the audacity, the balls, to schedule me during homecoming, or we're going to bring the thunder.
Absolutely.
So I can see how it's disrespect, but let's not forget, we're going to get technical and semantical about it. Coach Rob, he scheduled he allowed the Jackson State game to be played. And I'll raise my son. My son is 13.
Mm-hmm.
What does it have to do with you allowing your players to talk to a 55-year-old man like that? You are a 18, and I hope you got callers on this line that can hear this, and please let it get back to Alabama State. You got 18, 19, 21, let's say 25-year-old snot-nosed punks. Who are you to talk to Coach Prime like that? He's a 55-year-old grown. He's a grandfather. So, Coach Robinson, how about you, the AD, the position coach, and the vice president, get a hold of your damn players and take their helmet? Who's ever talking like that?
I agree. They shouldn't have. I don't want to call them punks because they are young men, but I do agree. They shouldn't have been talking. And I got some more folks on the line, but I appreciate you calling in. But I definitely agree with you. They shouldn't have been talking to him like that. No, I appreciate you calling in, man.
But Brother Jeff, two wrongs don't make it right. So I agree with you. I shouldn't have probably said the word that, but you get my emphasis being a 45-year-old black man raising my 13-year-old son. I'm not going to allow no 18 or 25-year-old talk to me like that. The SWAC, Eddie Robinson's father put more black men in the NFL than any.
Stop you. It's not his father. No, they're two different people. So that's not his father though. But I get what you're saying though. But I appreciate.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, appreciate the call though, man. Appreciate the call though, brother. Yeah, no, but I get what he's saying. I didn't like that was a bad look to have those young men, cursing at Prime. It wasn't good at all. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
How you doing, Jeff? This is Derek. I'm calling in from New Orleans.
What's going on, Derek, man? What's on your mind?
Oh, the first thing I wanted to say was I understand it was going back to what the last caller said, but talking about the your ritual is that you do when you get to work on time, but when you get to work late, you can't go in there and get the coffee break and do all these other things. So it's like, okay, you nip that in the bud.
Nah,
and then with the level
real quick. I agree with you. See, Prime admitted that they got there late. And so if you get there late, this is why I didn't like. And him walking through the ASU players, I get it, that's your ritual. But rituals got to change if you get there late. Now, but continue on. My bad. I agree with you,
though. So what I'm saying is with this passive aggressive mentality that Deion has, and which it's all good if that's your personality. I feel like own it. So when you get in the post game conference, bang, Swac, baby, who is Swac? Okay, do all that. That's fine. But it's like everybody want to bring a race act into it when Eddie Robinson didn't want to hug dude. And it's like, okay, but dude wasn't talking about dude's team like that and didn't have that same level of disrespect. So now, okay, the next day later, I'm wearing a Swac, if I ain't Swac hoodie, but you didn't have the same energy for Nick Saban. You didn't be like, we ain't got to pay our people to play with our people, Swac. So, that was my thing with that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like a level of, I'm watching the band at Southern. So it's like that, we didn't play Prairie View again to my crab year after the fight that they had in '98 because it was like some same type of being in the wrong space at the wrong time and bands didn't get out the way, so it caused this other thing. So it's like, no, you have to respect people's face, bro. You saw the coaches, they were like, what is he doing down here? So I'm just saying that, just respect people's face. Don't do the passive aggressive stuff and then get on the news and be like, oh, I don't know what happened. It's like, no. But just keep the energy and keep it good.
No, I feel you, and you can ask any of my. I don't know if you was on that day when I went live after the game, and I said, "Yo, I like the energy that Coach Rob brought." Now, when I saw the video of his players cursing at Prime, I wasn't a fan of that. That I couldn't stand for. That I wasn't a fan of. But and I wasn't a fan of him saying he wasn't quote unquote Swac. I wasn't a fan of that. But the energy, I didn't want to hug, bro, so I didn't give him a hug. I was feeling that. And I was feeling that he didn't like that he cursed and said the word, used the language that he used. But I was feeling it. I was right here on this very live saying yeah, keep that same energy. Y'all don't have to be friends. You can be respectful, but you don't got to be friends. He ain't got to love Prime like we love Prime or like somebody else loves Prime. But you can do it in a respectful manner, man. So I'm right there with you.
Can I ask you one more question before you go?
Yeah, go for it, buddy.
Do you feel like the narrative of their story was them trying to say that Coach Rob was apologizing for stopping him because I feel like the whole narrative was that they were trying to say that he pushed Deion, when in fact it was Deion that pushed him from stopping the handshake. So I was like, when he came out with the apology, I felt like he was apologizing for the language, but I feel like the way that people were phrasing it, even like his news was like.
I agree with you. He never apologized to Deion. He apologized, if you read his apology, and even when he went on ESPN with Tiffany Green and Jay Walker, he never said, I apologize. Now, they worded it that way, but he never said, I apologize to Deion.
Exactly. That's why I'm glad you said that. Exactly. Okay. I'm sorry. But
yeah, you good. You're in their caption, they worded it that way, but he never apologized to Deion. And I don't think he didn't have nothing to apologize for. That's just my opinion, but I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you calling in.
Man, thank you, man. Love the show, bro.
Hey, no problem. Appreciate it. Yeah, man. Coach Eddie Robinson never apologized to Deion. He said, I apologize to my school and to my team for the language that I used. He should apologize for the language that his players used. I didn't like them cursing out the water girl, cursing out Prime. That was ugly. But he never said sorry to Deion for the interaction that took place because he ain't had nothing to apologize about. Okay, let's go. What's going on? You're on with Jeff.
G Wood.
What's going on, man? What's going on? What's on your mind?
Nothing much, man. I'm going to say two quick things.
Yes.
First, I want to just finish out this whole ASU thing. ASU has never really been, competition to JSU. When JSU was up, ASU was down. When ASU was up, JSU was down. It's never, even though they've been in the Swac and that kind of thing, we never looked at them as a rival.
Okay.
Now, I guess they want to try to make a rivalry out of it, I guess starting back in the spring with that thing. But real true JSU fans, from back in the day, we never really even looked at ASU that way. And A&M, they were relatively, quote unquote, new to the Swac to us too. So we never looked at them that way. So.
Okay.
People try to make a big deal about a rivalry with Alabama teams. Never been on our radar.
Gotcha. I got you.
Yeah. So the last conspiracy theory that I have is I'm kind of thinking that with like Malachi being held back and with Travis being held back, one, I kind of think, you want to unleash them when you're bringing in all these big time recruits and things like that. Two, you don't want to put any film out so people know how to defend these players. Three, I think it's just one of those big promotional things as well because, all eyes are going to be on the team for homecoming. Here's that product that you're putting out on the field. Deion's already said that he's going to dress 100 or however many people that are going to be eligible to play.
Yes.
So here's the chance to just put out as many people as you can and just kind of run the table with, with all your big time players. So I just wanted to get on and say that and love the show, bro. Good job.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate you calling in. No, I definitely think that this is going to be a huge weekend. I think this is the first time we'll see Malachi in full action. Obviously, it'll be the first time we see Travis, and that's the highly anticipated. Everybody wants to see Travis. It's going to be interesting, man. It's really, really going to be interesting what's taking place. What's going on, man? You're on with Jeff.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. What's going on?
What's going on? I got a question. I'm really enjoying your content. Love your commentary.
Well,
you're always chiming in on the comments.
Appreciate it.
What other HBC? Now I know there's only one Prime. I get that.
Yeah.
But it almost seems as if Prime. I didn't expect as much. Should I say backlash from Black people about Coach Prime?
Backlash.
It's totally throwing me.
In which, what? Give me an example. What you talking about?
All of the hate that I'm hearing from HBCUs and Swac and Coach Eddie Robinson, I expected that from the Nick Satans. I expected that from the P5s.
Okay, well,
I never expected this from Black people.
What's your name again? I didn't.
See the way.
See the way. Okay, see the way. Okay, all right. Let me ask you this. See the way. This is just I'm just playing devil's advocate at this point. If your school, if you're an alum of Southern, of Prairie View, of Alcorn, of FAMU or whoever, Jackson State's won, I think now it's up to 13 straight SWAC games. And this year alone, they're beating teams by an average of 40 points per game. So if you're an alum, now these schools have prideful alumni bases, prideful fans. They love their teams. They love their schools. Way before Prime ever stepped into the realm, they always love their schools and love their teams. And your teams are getting beat by 40 points, and you haven't. Nobody's beat this team in over a year. You'd be pretty angry too, wouldn't you say? That's just my, you know what I'm saying, when you say that.
Okay. Let's take that narrative.
Okay.
I used to stay in Columbus, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I'm originally from Louisiana.
Okay.
Do you know? All right. So let's say that the SWAC was the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see where I'm going? You're in Columbus, Ohio, or you're in the Midwest, and all you see is Florida, LSU, Alabama, Georgia, Clemson. For 2 decades, what did Ohio State finally do? They went and got them a coach from the SEC.
Yes,
I think it was from Florida, right?
Yes, they did. They got Urban Meyer. You're right.
Right.
I'm right there with you.
Step your game up. If you don't like the man on 24s, go get you some 26-inch rims. You can't tell that man to take his rims off.
I like it.
The sun is going to shine whether you're sweating or not. This is a elevation, Jeezy, third motivation, 101.
I like it, man.
He is raising the standard. He should be appreciated. And he shouldn't be called non-SWAC. That's all I have to say.
I agree with you, man. Appreciate you calling. Make sure you call back. Nah, he makes some valid points. And that's what I think some of these programs are trying to do. You see the Bubba McDowell's getting hired of the world. He's from the NFL. The Hugh Jacksons, he's from the NFL. They're trying to step their game up, man. So we'll see what happens. What's going on, caller? You on with Jeff?
Yeah, what's up now?
What's going on, man? What's your name? Where you from?
My name Copeland, and I live in Los Angeles.
What's going on, Copeland?
What's up, man? Now, I just want to say a few things real quick, man. Like, it's crazy how we still talking about this Alabama State thing, and that was like freaking 2 weeks ago. Like, we're not gonna talk about the fact that they playing in a football stadium. Like I think that's a huge accomplishment for them, man, because nobody's trying to play the municipal stadium. That's kind of more for like high schoolers, man. Like, I'm originally from Daytona Beach, so I got family out there. So that's like for like Nayland, Seabreeze. That's like, man, that's a huge accomplishment to play in a NFL stadium. But also, I just want to say this: I can't wait to see Travis this week, and I just want to say I think it's poetic justice, just for the simple fact that he decided to go to JSU because he attended the homecoming last year. And the fact that he's making his actual debut, because that film, that was just like a preview. He's making his actual debut. Well, I'm pretty sure they're going to have him on offense and play him on defense Saturday at homecoming. So I think it's poetic justice, man, and I can't wait to see it, man. But, yeah, like I'll leave it at that, man. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, it's no problem, Copeland. No problem, man. Appreciate you calling in. No, you're right. You're right about that. It is beautiful to see. I can't wait to see, Travis's debut. I think we're all high. It's the most Travis's debut. Well, he played in the FAM game, so let me not say the debut. His debut was against FAM, but Travis's return is probably. I mean, I could easily say it's the most hype return in college football. I think it's safe to say that there's nobody else coming off a major injury that's been out this long that's coming back that we're more excited about seeing in any FBS, FCS, anywhere. So Travis, and for the simple fact that, like you said, it's going to be at a game now. Prime and O referred to Travis coming to homecoming, but Travis came to the Alcorn game, and if I'm not mistaken, that was senior day and not homecoming. But it was 59,000. We read that article earlier. It's 59,000 in the building, and I think they'll unleash Travis. I think they'll unleash Malachi Wideman, who we haven't seen a bunch this year, man. But I appreciate you guys, man, for rocking with me. I appreciate the callers for calling in. We'll do more call-in shows like this. Like I said, 727-731-8723, 727-731-8723. I appreciate you guys coming, all tapping in with me. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button on your way out. Also, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at JLightsy7. That is Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at JLightsy7. Shout out to you guys, man. You guys make this fun to do, and I will see you next time. Peace.